I can't tell you what's going to happen at 2:05 today, to tell you the truth.
I'm pretty sure you're going to be in your yacht.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have Michael Saylor on the future of Bitcoin and the issues in the crypto industry today. He talks about the crash with Bitcoin and in the crypto market. Today it's trading at less than half the all-time high, and with great uncertainties that remain in financial markets, as demonstrated by price actions across equities, it will be interesting to see how Bitcoin bounces back. Proponents of Bitcoin have endorsed the digital currency as an inflation hedge, in part because there is a finite amount of it, but Bitcoin has tumbled hard along with stocks. Saylor remains bullish despite market conditions, only this time it's combined with record highs in inflation and the market as a whole. Let's get right into the interview with Michael Saylor, who will give us his take on the current state of the Bitcoin market. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
So there was a lot of talk prior to these last 18 months or so that Bitcoin, it was an inflation hedge. Doesn't look like it's turned out to be that way.
It's an inflation hedge over 5 years or over 10 years. It's up 100% a year on average for a decade. It's up 45% on average every year for 5 years. It's outperformed the NASDAQ, S&P, gold,
Is it appropriate to set those sorts of metrics when this has only existed since around 2009? I mean, it's a very short sample size.
You could debate the 10-year number, but 4 or 5 years is a reasonable time frame for even this asset. I think the more important point is, in the last 12 months, bonds are a loser, precious metals are a loser, every equity is a loser. There really is no winner over 12 months. And the thing that's causing the gyration in the financial asset space is the 1-year Treasury bond went from 280 basis points to 70 basis points over 18 months from November of 2018 till March of 2020. The Fed let that 1-year number sit at 12 basis points, float down to 7 basis points until 12 months ago, and they cranked the 1 year from 7 basis points to 407 basis points in the last 12 months. That's put every financial asset on a roller coaster. If you're a trader, I have no trading advice for you. I'm not a trader. I would say, if you're interested in Bitcoin, you take the money you want to hold for the next decade and you divide that between a property portfolio. You're either buying a block in Manhattan, or you're buying scarce art for a decade, or you're buying a Bitcoin for the next decade. It's a long-term property strategy. It's not a short-term trading strategy. I have no advice with regard to the next 12 months. I can't tell you what's going to happen at 2:05 today, to tell you the truth.
I'm pretty sure you're going to be in your yacht.
Saylor goes on to say that big banks are currently unable to issue stablecoins because they're unregistered securities, which puts a twist in the industry, but once licensed, will create a giant on-ramp in market capital. It would allow for tens of millions of transactions per day, which would provide massive potential for the crypto and stock markets.
First, it becomes the $1 trillion asset in the crypto world. Then it becomes the $10 trillion replacement for gold as precious metal. And over time, people start to see it as a superior property to real estate or physical property, because I can't move a $1 billion building from New York to San Francisco, but I can move a $1 billion block of Bitcoin from New York to San Francisco.
So in 2029, it's going to be 100,000, 200,000, 300,000?
Bitcoin represents crypto property. And if you live in Africa and I gave you $50,000, there is nothing you would want to buy anywhere in Africa for $50,000 that represents a superior property to buying $50,000 worth of Bitcoin.
Oh, at what price does Bitcoin stabilize? If you had to do you think it is 10 million
I think that it's volatile right now because it's a small asset early on, poorly understood, trading 24/7, 365 on unregistered exchanges with super high leverage, cross-collateralized other cryptos being thrashed about by the macroeconomic policy of the Western world, which as you think Bitcoin's volatile? The 1-year Treasury bill went up by a factor of 50 in yield, right? So treasuries are volatile, everything is volatile right now. I think that when it's 10 times bigger, it'll be much less volatile. When it becomes 100 times bigger, it'll be a lot less volatile.
How much Bitcoin do you own personally?
17,732 Bitcoin.
You talk to Elon Musk from time to time?
Sometimes.
You give him tips on SpaceX?
I tell him to buy Bitcoin.
Or does he tell you to buy Bitcoin?
And buy more Bitcoin. I like Bitcoin.
But
I think it's good for the world. Property rights for 8 billion people, digital energy, it'll change the world. If you believe that Bitcoin is an instrument of economic empowerment, that is a way to give property rights to everybody with a $50 Android phone on Earth, and give them something they can own that can't be debased, that they can carry with them the rest of their life, give them property which gives them pari passu rights. If you live in Nigeria right now and you own $100,000 of property in Nigeria, and it's Bitcoin, your Bitcoin is no different than living in Manhattan. You have the same rights, the same economic interests. But if you have a $100,000 house in Nigeria, it's not the same as a $100,000 house in Westchester, New York. So I believe that Bitcoin is an instrument of economic empowerment. That's the definition of a Bitcoin maximalist. And yeah, there's more and more people that believe that every single day.
So you're not going to endorse or recommend any other coin?
Well, I think with regard to many of the others, there's four things going on here. Crypto property is an innovation. The invention of a digital commodity that is not a company is an innovation. Even Gary Gensler of the SEC has said that. Even Janet Yellen has said that. That's well understood. Crypto exchanges are trading 24/7, 365. That's an innovation. A lot of people like the idea of being able to trade something on a Saturday afternoon. We'd love to trade Apple stock on a Saturday afternoon. We can't. So crypto exchanges are interesting to people. Crypto currency is like Tether or Circle, the US dollar stablecoin. 8 billion people on the planet want that on their smartphone. Everybody in China wants it. Everybody in Africa wants it. Everybody in Turkey, Lebanon, Argentina want it. The market for that is about 150 billion right now, but that'll go to $1 trillion and eventually to many trillions over time. That's an innovation. I think that that's really exciting. And then there are crypto securities. People spin up tokens that are kind of equity tokens, and they do it fast and quickly. That's very controversial right now. So I'm not going to endorse any security. I'm not really endorsing an equity. I'm a technologist, and I believe Bitcoin is interesting because it's a commodity, and I believe these other technologies are interesting because they move money at the speed of light, and that makes for a more efficient economy.
Where's the bottom for Bitcoin in this current crypto winter, if you want to call it that?
I'm not a trader, and my view is a decade is a short period of time. Right. 100 years is a logical period of time. You're trying to create something great in the civilization. But if I was looking at a metric, the metric I'd look at is the simple moving average over the course of 4 years. The 4-year simple moving average makes the most sense. We're about at that number, like it's a $19,000, $20,000 number, and it's touched that a few times over the past decade.
You think this is stable?
I think this is stable.
Saylor notes that we've been in a recession since 2020, and the economy has lost 40% of its purchasing power in the last 2 years. Even though the dollar is the most powerful medium exchange in the world, currencies are the weakest store of value. Because fiat currencies are collapsing, most people don't want to hold on to a local currency. Saylor advises to keep money in the dollar in the short term, but in the long term invest it in Bitcoin because it's the most reliable property on the market. What do you guys think about Michael Saylor's opinion on the importance of time horizons and where Bitcoin is headed this year? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.